So working on the Ford uh, early Bronco Baja build. As you can see, all the parts are printed and put together. Here on the inside there are fixed everywhere with bolts and nuts, and I glued all the parts together. If you look very carefully you can see some lines there and there. On the roof also a little bit, and here on the hood you can see some lines. I glued them together with super glue. You have different kinds of brands of that, and sometimes I use this zip kicker. So when you put on some glue, you spray this on, instantly it's getting hard. So it's very good if you want to glue something together, and it has to be very quick, because if you move it otherwise it don't line up anymore. So that's what I used. After that I used car putty. So this stuff they used, it's double, it's 2 components, so you have to put the little one with the big one. You mix it and then you have like maybe 5 maximum 10 minutes to put it on. And then when it's dried up, you can sand it down. Mostly I'm sanding it with 80 grit paper for the first time, and after that I do another one with 120 or less, and at the end I do like 600, so to smoothen it out. This one, for this particularly build, I will go with a old rusty look, so I don't need to sand it perfectly. So you know, there are some bumps in it, maybe some rust coming through the paint, so this is going to be good for that. But to make this one is printed in PLA, so it's not the most strongest one, so like ABS is more stronger, but I printed this in PLA. So I'm going to put a layer of this on it, XTC 3D epoxy. You have number A and number B. You take this, you put some of A in there, and then half of that amount you put B in it. You're going to mix it, and then you're going to take a brush. This is the brush I used last time, so can't use it anymore, it's all hard. So I'm going to take an older one that's still good enough to brush it up. And with this product you are smoothing out the lines of the printing, so actually you have less sanding to do. So let's take this. Let's see if it's working. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Take something out of it, up. Okay, nice. Now the B component, apply, yes. It stinks a little bit, so make sure you have not a good ventilation in the room where you are working. So I'm going to mix it. Put that on the side, and then, if you can see, like this. Just going to brush it up. You can do a second coat if you like, so be sure that the lines that you don't want to fill in, that you don't put too much on it, because otherwise you can't see them anymore. Before I started this, I cleaned the body, I washed it. So no dust on it, no filthy places. So this stuff will stick on it. When this is all done, you can still sand it after it. If you are interested in this product, it's called Smooth On XTC 3D printed. I'm not sponsored by them, but I used this product before in my this one here, also the 3D printed body that I bought by MFAB. That's one, it's ABS, but I also put this XTC 3D printed epoxy on it. So it rolled down a lot of times, got a lot of rollovers with that one, and no breakage, no problem with the body. Sometimes the mirrors, but I think that's normal. Everybody got the same problem. Okay. So as you can see, maybe going pretty fast. Going good here. I'm going to do the whole body, and after that I will come back to you to show you the result. So see you later. So the epoxy is dried up. I put it on the whole body. You can't see it anymore because I already put a primer coat on it, a base coat. I used Motip primer paint for that. You also can use other kinds of soft paints of Tamiya or other brands, but I use that one. It's automotive paint. Because of the colors that I'm going to use are also from the same brand, so I went with the Motip. If you want to know how it's look like after, because this is like after the epoxy, this is with nothing on it. Here you have with these are some door panels with the epoxy on it, so it's shiny. This is one coat. You can do two coats if you like, but and then we have sanded down a little bit. I think I used like 100 grit of sandpaper. So this is ready for the base coat, also for the primer, and then painting it. I also already made some windows of clear Lexan. So first I made a little kind of template actually for the windows, and then I cut out the Lexan. So then you don't have to be worried that you're screwing up some things. So that's all done. So this one is ready for some color paint. So when that's done, I will be back to you. Okay. So I'm almost done with the painting. I did a couple of steps ahead. I mounted the grill. So the piece in here, it's separately 3D printed. I painted the base coat, the primer, and then red, white, blue and black on the bonnet. And after that I start weathering it. I used the salt method, and I used different kinds of paint for the rust effect. I will show you later. This one, it's not the right rim for it, but can open up like that. Very nice detail. The inside, I painted it all red because on the real early Bronco it's also red. For the paint I used several kinds of paints like Vallejo Wash, Light Rust. I have here another rust. I used this pigments, rust. I used just some paint that's almost the color of rust. I used the XF57 of Tamiya paint. It's like a dust paint, and I used it with a sponge. So I did a little bit of paint in here, and then with the sponge you take some paint on it. First you do on a paper towel, you tip a little bit on it, because otherwise maybe you have too much. You take a look before you put the paint on if you have like the right structure, and then you just go over it on the spots where you want to have the rust. It's not 100% done yet, but it's a start. So that's for now the paint, and I also want to have some rust in it, like places like that, and I'm doing that with my soldering iron. So I heated it up and I put the tip on it, so you have a flat end and a tip. I put the tip on it, and then you just like burn stuff in it, and if it's just burnt, if you go over it with your finger, just be sure you don't burn yourself. You can modify it a little bit, you know. You can make a hole in it, or only just a hole, some small ones, some big ones, just like that. After that you can go over it to maybe take some parts out of it, but then it's got really a depth in it. Now when you do it like this, maybe there are other techniques, I don't know, but I like this one. I first tried it out on a little piece of styrene before I used it on this model, because yeah, you want to test this before you're doing that. Make sure you are in a well ventilated area, because it's plastic that you're burning. I'm also doing a little bit here on the side of the door. So like the door is rusted on the side there. If you have other tips, other methods that you used for making rusty holes in your plastic bodies to look like the real deal, put the comments below, and so everybody can learn of each other. That's nice. Okay, I will continue this one further up for making some holes, and then with the next step I will be back. Okay, so I worked on the lenses of the car. We have on the side lenses here. Where are they? Over there, there, other side of course, the back, there are do you have your lenses, and also those in the front. Yeah. On the side, you know, it's just flat. I painted the inside. Maybe you need some more light, yeah, better. Just flat, you know. I painted it the inside a little bit orange, because I don't want to have LEDs inside of that, because you know, those directions I don't use them on the trail. So and also I painted the Lexan orange with the X26 from Tamiya. I don't know if you can read it like that. It's transparent. You also have it in red if you like. To the 27, the X27. Back on the back I'm going to use some LEDs, so I drilled a hole before I glued this on, and I painted one part orange, one part red. And in the front it was a little bit more difficult, because you have a lens. It's really curved, so those are flat. it's curved. So what did I do with this, with the files? They have this. So this is the lens that I printed it, but it's in PLA, so not transparent, and it's not hollow, so you cannot do anything with it. I glued it on this nail polish bottle because it has exactly the same diameter, how you say that, size. I took a hair dryer, I heated up some Lexan, and then I pulled it over to make that form, and then I cut it out with the scissors for having the right size and then I glued it on. So twice I did that, and then I had those lenses. Pretty sturdy, you know, I don't think they're going to break fast. So okay, that was it for the lenses, and let's go find out what I will do next. So a lot of happened the last time. Show you around a little bit. I put some extra details on the paint, but actually the most work is done on the inside, the interior. So I will take the body off. I'll show you in a minute how I did that, because I don't have body post, but I have used magnets. So I have on the inside there and there 2 ring magnets, and here in the back as well. The white piece that you see here is actually the red piece here on the inside, and some skill stuff. So as you can see, I did not put in the windows yet, that's for later. Actually the only thing that has to be done here is putting some 5mm LEDs in the front and some 3 red LEDs in the back. So I've been working on the inside. I started it with the aluminium plate here in the back that goes all the way up here and then a little bit down here. So for that I'll take it here. I first made a template like this, and then I made it in aluminium. It's much easier to do, and all the rest, the back, I made in styrene, because those things here are styrene, that's aluminium. And all the rest in the front, up here and there, the tunnel and everything, and up here firewall, that's styrene, because it's much easier and quicker to make, and I don't need a lot of strength, because here in the back I have installed servos, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, over there, for the Super Scale 2020 active suspension system. Yeah, more about that later, how to install that, how to put firmware in it, and all those things. It's not installed yet, it's not in working mode. It's going to be later, because here you have your servo horns attached to your normal spring, so your stock spring. Here in the front as well, only I had to make the servo horn longer, much longer actually, because I did not have any other possibility to put the servos here in the front because of the front motor mount here. So I hope that will be okay for that when all the rest is installed. So what I still have to do is putting all those wires, servo, motors, the extra servos for the suspension. I don't know where, somewhere I have to put it to get it here. I think I'm going to put the battery here, and then this thing, the unit of the Super Scale 2000 is going to sit here, so then I have the battery there, some weight in the middle, and I'm going to take the battery. This is the battery I'm going to use for this one, Ovonic 2S LiPo. It's really small, as you can see. It will fit right in, it will slide in there, up very easily. So for now I have a, so it's an axial 27 turn brushed motor, so I have this one, the ESC from Axial. And for the system with that, if you want to use that, the Super Scale 2020, you have to use a external BEC, external back of minimum 20 amp for all those servos. So you have to make 2 wires to your battery input to power your back. More about that later, because how to install all that stuff. This one, it's standard firmware, is for a drift car, so I have to change that. You have to connect it to the to your PC, to your Windows PC, but because on the Mac it's not working. And you can find all the info on their website, like firmware and everything. And when you order this one, you also get an email with all the links inside, so that's good. Okay, the chairs here, they're were 3D printed. They came with the body. This here is from the inside, how you say it, for a dollhouse actually. For I ordered it on I think it was Amazon, so it's for dollhouse carpet. So fire wall in the back. I don't have any space left to make an engine bay, so I'm not going to do that. Here in the front, it's wood. This is wood also, so it was easy to screw on those ring magnets. So a little bit of a protection here for in the front for dust and mud. Here also it's going to be closed, so no mud can come inside. And I still have to install the drive shaft here in the back. It was too short, the stock one, so because I changed the length of the wheelbase a little bit. So as you can see, the links are custom made. I bent them a little bit to have a nice clearance there. Okay, so I think that was it for now, and up to the next one. So almost the end of the winter build of 2022. I will show you what I did. I put in the Lexan windows all the way around. First I made some paper templates, and then I cut out the Lexan. Here in the back and all the way around actually also I got from Crawler IT, so from Italy, this. You made that for me, thank you very much, my friend, for making that. A number plate. Here this opens the Ford, and then you go over here, Bronco, the engine, and then here on the front also the Ford. I don't know if you can see it with the light, it's focusing, and another number plate, of course, and on the other side here same things. Yeah. I mounted on the back here a spare tire, and the cover I made myself out of some fabric. In the front I'm 3D printed it and painted it, the front wind screen wipers, the mirrors left and right, door handles, same stuff. So, and I mounted also the LEDs, they're in there. I don't have a battery in it right now, and just 2 red lights here in the back. Okay, I'm very happy with the result until now. I didn't drive it, just going to show you a little bit more on the inside. So here underneath you can see there are the wires of the LED. I glued them in with hot glue, with a gun, hot glue gun. That's easy and fast. In the front, for the Super Skill suspension kit, I changed the servo horn here because I notified it that it has to be the same length, so in the front and in the rear. So now there are just aluminium servo horns. The ESC I attached here with some Velcro. The back I made also I glued some Velcro on it to attach it, and then here I still have some room for the Super Skill unit, but it's connected to the PC right now because I still have to make or put the right firmware on it. So here, yeah, I think for the rest there isn't much of a change. The only thing I did was maybe you can see it here, I drilled a hole in here because I mounted it a new metal drive shaft here, and to put the pin in I didn't have any access through here, and I didn't want to take off all of those, so I just drilled a hole here, and with the screwdriver I can go through there and attach that, so if I need to change something it's very easy to do that right now. Okay, all by all I'm very happy with it. Only the Super Skill unit to put on, but I think I'm going to take it out for a test drive already, see what it's capable of, and then when I have the Super Skill unit ready, we can see the difference between the two.